What up, everybody? Al the Pal 78 coming at you one more time for this XLookUp. Like, this is going to be the easiest way, but I'm going to do this so I could always have this data sheet information, and it just makes my life easier, I think. Like I said, you're going to come over here, we're going to come down here, we're going to bring it down here, and we're going to, we'll just delete the whole row. Who cares? We'll delete, the column, and now we're going to delete all these rows. Who cares? We don't need none of those. We will delete this. We don't need this here. We will once again put this if here. So let's put Control X and let's put the if in a tab. This if logical test is great. Equals nothing, and I want nothing. Or I want it to be that. And if you press enter, that should work. Sometimes when you press enter, you don't have a closing parentheses. It gives you an error, but that's that. Once again, this position is going to be determined by the X lookup. Now the X lookup is I think is better than index match, depending on the situation. But I just think it's better because there's a lot of things you could do with index match and in an X lookup. You could do the same thing. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to do with the X lookup. Other than that, here we go. What is the X lookup? It means you could do it horizontally, backwards. If the top, like in horizontal lookup, if the top, it has to be top bottom to work properly, like top bottom. But this X lookup, it could be bottom top, left, right. It doesn't matter. Right, left. It doesn't matter. It could do it. That's all you need to know. So we're gonna put equal sign XL, let's tab. And what's our lookup value is gonna be B2, comma. What's our lookup array? Okay, this is where it changes. Our lookup array is gonna be here, Control Shift down, comma. And our lookup, our return would be from here, Control Shift down. Now, one thing you gotta remember, and this goes for most formulas or all formulas, you want it to be matching. Like if you're in A1, you want it to be whatever number it is, one, whatever column it is, one, like the ABCs. So you want it to be in the first one is D1, D1. You want it to be E1. Let's put this a little bigger. I can do that right now. All right, and then we'll do something else. The cool thing about this, why everybody love the X lookup, is because you could actually add one more thing, error in rank. And then you don't need to worry about that or that for this because I'm doing it simple for the military. So this gives you everything you need, and this is gonna come out wrong. Why? Do you know? Error. See, it even says error in rank, and that's not really an error. What happened is, once again, I didn't press F4, and just like Dora the Explorer, F4 here. Let's do that. Like this is not gonna change, but the rest of them will fix. Once again, that's all you need to do. What we want to change this to a long date. But these numbers right there, is the actual date. Is like how many milliseconds or seconds or something like that from 1970 or whatever Excel does it. And that's pretty much that one. And that is why we're going to also do the easiest way to do this because that was 3 minutes and a half with explanation. The last thing we want to do here is custom sort, which is probably has some more. And this is exactly what we want. Position, last name, first name, middle initial, etc., etc. So there you go. We have everything working, and then more than likely we're gonna hide this, maybe make it a table, whatever. But now I'm gonna work on the easiest way for ranking, and I'm gonna work on that other stuff, the rifle needs and stuff like that. So that'll be easy. So let's come here. Let's put equals. Let's come here. You know what I'm doing. And I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna drag it down a little bit. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna click on this row all the way up until we see. I used to hate doing this back with the old Excel spreadsheets. So we see that right here because it used to go so fast, it was crazy. I mean, I probably could have done it easier. With this, we want it to be what? Long date. I like long dates. So and it automatically does that for us. Let's make this left align and then this and of course, we want the first row to all be bold because we're going to be doing our thing here. We don't need this. We don't need to. We can just delete all that. We're going to delete all this. Bam. We're going to delete all this. Bada boom. Once again, we're going to take this to the if. Let's do the ifs again. If Control V because it was on another sheet equals nothing, it gets nothing, or it gets that. Enter. Let's bring that down. Um, let's make this look nice. If you want it all to look nice, you do that, and it does that, and it'll fix it all for you and make it look better. We're also going to add a level to this when we do the pivot table. So we have 5 minutes right now. So what is the easiest way to do this? First of all, we don't need this anymore. Let's delete this. Now we're going to select let's just select what we need. We're going to go to custom sort here. We're going to leave that rank there, but we're going to go to custom list. And I'm going to delete this for you. And then I'm going to open up my Word document, which is right here, already open. And I'm going to click on Gen. What I did was I put a general. There's only one general in the Marine Corps at one time, but there's other generals like lieutenant, major, and brigadier generals in the military. But for like the one in charge is the main general, and then he's called a commandant in the Marine Corps. Usually don't have like 2 4-stars or whatever. So what we're gonna do right here is we're gonna come to the end of this, click here, and we're gonna do this right here, and we're gonna Control C it. All right, we're gonna come back to the Excel spreadsheet. We're gonna Control V it. Then we're gonna press Add. Now it's gonna add all these ranks, and that's the order we want because I copied and pasted all this from a site. I actually typed it um, from a site that has all the rankings. However, I probably wouldn't need general, lieutenant general, brigadier general because it's only for my shop. I wasn't high enough rank to get all that, but we're gonna use it anyway. We're gonna press OK. We're gonna add a level. We're gonna call it last name. Add a level, first name. I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Then we're gonna press OK. You see how we didn't need none of that formulas here, and it still gave us the rank in order properly. Yeah, that's the easiest way. If I went back in time and I knew that, I don't know if the old stuff did that. If I went back in time and did that, then yeah, I would have been a lot easier for me. So one thing we want to do is we have to figure out what our rifle needs is. Like every year you're supposed to have what they call it. You're supposed to have you're supposed to qualify on the rifle range shooting a rifle to say that you're still a rifleman. So how did we determine that? It's actually an if formula, but basically what we would do in that if formula, we would do this and we put is less than today. Today's it's called a method or function. I believe they call it a method because it's already written type method and we just borrowing it. And then we're gonna use that and we're gonna go minus 365. 365. Right? And we press enter, it's gonna say true. Now we could use this, right? But that's not what we want to see because our higher ups will be like, what is this true? You're a programmer or something? So let's try this again with an if. If this is less than, I like to put spaces, today minus 365, then we're gonna put needs. Oh snap. I hate when I do that on accident. Is that a comma? Let's put 365, comma, quotation marks. I press enter on accident sometimes because the quotation shifting that's too close to each other. We need it. If we don't need it, we want to put GTG. Oh, but not like that in quotation. GTG. Good to go. And we're gonna press enter. And then I did something I didn't close it. So it's saying, do you want us to correct it and close it? Yes. See, this formula is the same. However, okay, let's run this down and let's do the conditional formatting real quick. Good to go, need to go, need good to go. Okay. So conditional formatting, you could just put the highlight rules equals to, don't even have to be capitalized, you put need. And then it already gives you the color that you want because you want that strong warning, you need to go. But if you're good to go, you keep the same thing highlighted, the same thing equals to, and we could put GTG, right? But we're gonna change the color because that looks dumb. because you can use like, we're good, buddy, we're good. And that is the easiest way for ranking. That makes this easier. Now we're gonna insert something. We're gonna insert. We're gonna put level, right? And in the level, we're gonna give it numbers 1, 3, 2, 1. But we don't want this to be a long day. What happens when you insert? It takes the format from here. So we want this to be a number. We want for sure for them a whole number, and then we should be good. And then we could also change this to center, and then do this for this. So take up so much room, and look how beautiful that is. And we're gonna just copy this, Control C, down here, Control V, Control uh, Control V, Control V. Now everything's good to go. Now you see what I did was in swim qualifications, every level, different level. They have like 4 different levels. It might have changed since I've been in. So every level is different. Like level one, you need to go every 3 years. However, however, some people don't, don't go every year. Like they don't need to go every year. But I had to change the numbers from level 4 because you need to go every year and make it a 1, and then level 1 and make it a 4. So that let's put this one as 4. So you didn't have to go for every 4 years. Now we're gonna fix this right here. All right, I'm gonna make some space between here and here. I'm gonna add a parentheses between here, where we're gonna put a multiplication sign, which is the asterisk key, and I'm gonna click on the level. I'm gonna close that parentheses right there. Press enter. He's still gonna need it, but let's see who don't need it. Bring it down. So many people are good to go, so that makes your life easier. And the reason I put rifle needs, because every time we make a pivot table, because like I said, this is going to be more than 10 minutes. I'm not worried about it. I don't want to do too many videos. That's everything you need to know about this. Now, if we change this to 2, it still might be good to go. We go back up to 1, and you not horrible, or you need to, need it. I think some people can get away with rifle qualifications if you do like expert 4 years in a row, but I forget. Something's changed. Once again, all this is perfect. Now we're gonna work with a pivot table. We want to wherever you want your pivot table to start, so you don't have to copy and paste everything. That's where you want to add your pivot table. So in order to add a pivot table, you put insert, and then you put the range. Um, I'm just gonna click all this. Oh, not all the way. Let's highlight all the stuff we need, and then if you have it as a table, like let's cancel this real quick, right? So if you put this and come here and press Control T, the easiest way to make a table, and say do that. Yes. All right. We want to do this. I like the different colors. I mean, we could change it to this right here, or we could change it to a beautiful color, or we could come down here and make it some other beautiful color. Let's leave it like that. That's beautiful. And it's, I don't like this no more. The reason I don't like it is because I want it to be more of a dark color. So this sticks out. That dark color is horrible. um, we can make it like something like this, and then this will stick out, and we still have that easy to see highlight of each row a different color, which is great. So this is a table now, right? So we go to pivot table, and then we put insert pivot table. The reason I like the table range right here, because in fact, what am I doing? Let's go back over here and let's see the table. We made this into a table. Let's see the table. No. So if we highlight the whole table, it should say table something. Um, let's create this table, and instead of calling it table 1, we're going to call it uh, pivot table. I don't know what that pivot. So we create pivot table right here, right? We come over here and we put insert pivot table. You put table range. You could call it pivot table. Okay, so that didn't work as good as I wanted it to work. um, Table range. Select the table range. Just come back over here and let's select this range. And why did it call itself table two? I try to change it. So if we're on table two, all we really need is this right here. We need this same one right here, rifle needs, and that looks good. But we also want to give it a title. So we got rifle quality, good to go, and needs to go. The only problem I have with this, because this makes it easier, because your higher ups are gonna be like, oh, sorry, hold on. I need it. Who needs to go to rifle range? I need that like ASAP. I need that like yesterday. Calm down, sir. I got you, man. Simple, man. You silly, man. Because we got everything we need. So we double click on the 7. Like, sir, of course, if you have, let's go a little bit bigger. Of course, if you have all the extra training, would be like swim quad, everything over here will be coming out over there. And all you have to do is delete the rows for it and just minimize this very quick. It comes out as a table, so it already looks pretty. And you could do the conditional, and then you could put this rifle qual needs. Okay, you can name the table so he knows, like, sir, it's called rifle qual needs because all the people need to go. You know what I'm saying? Captain Caveman, highest ranking guy, of course. All right, and then you could also make this all centered as well. It looks better that way, and you could do the same conditional format as well. You know what I'm saying? Like need only so you could see the red and they could see the needs. And that's one thing that doesn't transfer over. I believe there's a way to do it, but it's very confusing, so I won't do it. And the last thing is you just have to click here and then you do a custom sort here. And you could do it by ranking like that. Bang. Then rank. And then of course you want their last name and then first name, whatever. First name, middle initial. And then press OK. Now it's in proper order. Easy to see who needs it. The level that they're in. And you just delete everything else, and you could send this spreadsheet somewhere else. You can export the spreadsheet by itself, so you don't see any extra stuff that they don't need to see. The last thing is like you want to make it the best you can make it. You always want to do something like that. Like this level, this should be center as well. Middle initial is fine. Left side, things of that nature. Like maybe you want the master gunning sergeant to look just a little bit less. I mean, more space in between, just so it could look just a little bit neater. And that's all you got to do. Now the problem with this, right? This is never going to change. But the problem with this, if you want the pivot table to change, you have to use the developer tab. In order to see the developer tab, you got to go to options over here when you go to there, and you got to go to your custom ribbon, and you got to make sure the developer tab is checked. If it's not checked, it's not going to be seen. So after you see that it's seen, there's two things you could do. Click developer tab, and you could actually insert a macro. But once again, you also have to save it as a macro enabled spreadsheet so it could work. Some people won't they won't download it or allow it to work properly when you send it out to them and you tell them, hey, this is from me in the email. This is from me. I put a macro in it because it's going to help us refresh our data all the time. So that's what I want to do. Before I put the macro, I'll show you what I mean. Right? We come here and let's see, this is a 1. It's a that should have changed. Remember, oh, if this is a 4, then it would change. Okay. You're not gonna see. We'll put this over here because it should be last. You're not gonna see a change here unless you right click, press refresh. However, there's other ways to do it. You click on the developer tab and you go to Visual Basics. You could click on this the easiest way because that's where we're getting the data from. We could put the worksheet. We're gonna collect this, delete this, collect this. We're gonna put our own declarations. Go back to the worksheet. Put on change. Only problem, you cannot undo this. So what you would need to do is this workbook dot refresh all, and then Control S, and then we're gonna save this. Okay, right there. When we get back over here, it's gonna say we need to save it as a macro enable. So just click save, and there you go, save it. You're gonna have two of them. You need to know which one you're looking at. Now that that's saved, you see the 10 and the 6. Uh, we had we changed this to a 4, so let's put a 2 there, and now it needs. Look at our pivot table, a 9 and a 7. But if you don't want it to automatically update, this is where we will delete this, Control S, close this out, and then come back to the spreadsheet right here, and we can input a button. All right, we put this button here. We're gonna call it refresh button. All right, and we're gonna press OK. Now you wanted to say refresh, right? So we got to delete all this and put refresh. Bam. So nope. So there, there's that. It's gonna do this, and it has nothing there, so it's gonna give you errors. So you're gonna right click on it, and we're gonna assign a macro. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna press new. See, it says refresh here, and now we have a general, and it created a macro, a module. Oh, macro. Could be a macro. So this is general macro, and we're gonna put. We don't need to put nothing. None of this. We don't need no declarations. Nothing. All we have to put is the same thing. Refresh. If you spell it right, it'll come out. Press enter. I press enter so you can see it change from lowercase t to capital T, and then W as well. And then that's it. You press Control Save. You already saved it as a workbook. We can close this for now. You gotta click off of it so you could actually allow it to be seen. So we're gonna go back over here, and we're gonna make this a 4 again. It should be 10. And then we go to pivot table, and you're gonna see that it's a 10 again by pressing this button instead of doing this. So if you had a bunch of pivot tables and you changed a lot of them, I would personally prefer the other way, so it could refresh by itself automatically. Like I said, the only problem with that is you can't Control Z or undo it. Yeah, I know. But if I was back in the Marine Corps as a training staff NCO, this would be the sheet I would be using. I would have everybody's information because I would have privilege to see it in my computer on their what they call it. They have a master database, and I could go use it. I forgot the name of the site. You have to go to a site, but it only works internally, I guess, in the Marine Corps. I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but it's a master site, and I use it only at work. I won't take it home. I won't use it on my personal laptop because I don't want to accidentally do anything like Hillary Clinton. Don't get me wrong. I don't like any of those parties, so I'm just taking a jab out because it was funny. But anyways, I would prefer the other way with the Visual Basic stuff and the whole sheet just refreshing automatically, so it'll always be refreshed. Once again, this would not be refreshed. You know what I'm saying? I don't think this has a refresh thing right here. So if you was gonna do that before you just delete this right here, right? You don't need it anymore because you're gonna redo it. No, I'm getting that. You're gonna redo it, and then you're gonna press refresh. But that's pretty much it. Um, like I said, I have 30 trainings. I would start with B here. Like we would do this right here, Control X, come to B and Control V. Come to B right here and Control V it. And I would right click this right here. I would make it a lot smaller like this. I would make it smaller like that, like this. And I would move the whole thing right here. And then every other training, like I said, we would make this all perfect like this. And all the training would be like, we'll have this like here, the next training, and we would just keep continuing making the pivot tables. It'd be a new pivot table with the same information, but instead of having a rifle qual date, it'll be swim qual date, suicide and awareness date. And you'd be surprised. We have like 30 or 40 trainings, could be more. Like, but I also like to do this, and I like to make this neat. So I like to make it minimal if possible. And of course, it wouldn't be this big. It would actually, this is 160%. We'll be going down to 100%. So it'll look like this. I might personally make it to 100. 30%, so it looks bigger for me and for the officer in charge and staff and other staff and shows that are higher ranked than you. And then they'd be like, Cardona, you're a genius. I'm like, I know. You don't have to tell me 3 times. But that's it. This is the longest video. I knew it was going to be something in the 20s because I wanted to explain a little bit more detail how to get this done better. So hopefully this helps out, especially your military personnel. And, anybody, you can use this as a CEO, director and different supervisors at these places. And then actually do this all by seniority with how long they've been there and what their title is. Some titles, and then, you can make a list. You can do the same list like right here. Let's go home. You can make that same custom sort list, right? And you could just add all the higher rankings from chairman, CEO, et cetera, et cetera. And that is that. Have a good day now.